What do you have in spades to supersize and grow your business? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with a deck of cards, all spades, because spades in the game of bridge in the 1920s and beyond, when bridge was really popular, were considered the highest, most valuable. They got the most points in certain card games. And therefore, when we said in spades, if you had spades and you had a lot of tricks that you could win in different card games, you would say that you had something in spades, meaning you had a lot of spades. You had an abundance of something. So to have an abundance of something became known as having something in spades. We have a competitive advantage, and our competitive advantage means that we have a whole lot of something that other people don't have. So this idiom is relatively new. It comes from the 1920s and the game of bridge. And since my dad in the 1960s, when I was a very little girl, and probably, I don't know if it was into the 70s, I think it was in the 60s, he played duplicate bridge, which is competitive bridge, and he was actually the youngest life master in the world, I guess. So that's kind of why I know anything about bridge at all. I never played bridge much. My mom was always in a bridge club. My dad was always playing bridge and competitive and duplicate bridge. He and his brother played bridge, and I think he probably got into it because his brother played it, but he became a life master, the youngest life master in the world, and then he really didn't play bridge much again until he retired and was down in Texas. He joined a bridge crew, and played bridge again before he passed away. So in spades means that we have a whole lot of something. I think of supply and demand, and our idiom for the annual challenge today is what I call the supply, not our idiom, our paradox for today is what I call the supply paradox, meaning that if you have an abundance of something, the more you have of something, the more abundant and available something is, the less you want it, the less you desire it. And I got to thinking about this in my life. That's pretty true, and it applies to a lot of things. If I have a whole lot of work to do, like too much work, the less I want of it, right? The less work I want if I have too much work. If I have too many responsibilities, it adds stress. Therefore, I really don't want more stress. I don't mind responsibilities because it gives me more freedom, but I don't want to have the stress with it. If I have a lot of stuff around me, oh yes, I do have a lot of stuff around me. If I have a lot of clothes, I don't want all those clothes. And it can apply to situations, experiences. You know, if I have a lot of experiences where I'm messing up and making mistakes and considering it failures, I don't want those, right? The more failures I have, the more I want success. The more available doing the wrong thing is to me, the less I want doing the wrong thing for me. And it applies to our emotions, it applies to our relationships, it applies to definitely to our businesses and different things that we have in our businesses. You know, online marketing and the online world, I think, is the place where I really learned and got a huge dose of, although it happens in the offline world as well, the use of scarcity in order to motivate people to take action. And from a marketing standpoint and a sales standpoint, I get it, but it always kind of rubs me the wrong way. It's like in the offline world and even in the online world. In the online world, people use deadlines and a limited quantity or limited availability of something. In the offline world, they do the same thing. Stores have sales, and when they run out, the sales off and they run out. Things like that. So we use those things to make it seem like there's less supply available so that increases demand and people are wanting our products and services. It's why we have different price points and different offerings, different things that we offer to different people. There are certain people that will buy anything that we create and sell, and there are other people that we have to, really work hard to convince that they're ready for our products and services. This in spades also reminds me to be cognizant of the measures and the things that I'm measuring in my business. Am I measuring things, and the numbers that I'm keeping track of, are they really the numbers I should be looking at, and are they important? So love to know if you've used this expression, if you've had any experience with this expression or this idiom. I definitely have, like I said, all the way back to my early childhood when my dad was a duplicate bridge player. This is actually a cribbage deck that I stole from the cribbage board because my family likes to play cribbage. If I can help you in any way, hit me up. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow. We're going to talk about the relationship paradox for the annual challenge. So I will find an idiom to go along with that, and we'll tie it into our business and how do we go about using that to grow and supersize our business. Have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye.